Bengal Chief Minister has announced that the movie would be banned in the state of West Bengal as well. We've seen, of course, some reactions coming in from the BJP because we've already heard the BJP President JP Nadda saying that this is a different kind of terrorism that is being spread.
What is this Kerala files? BJP is showing the Kerala files a distorted stories. They came to Bengal also. And along with some distorted stories, the concocted stories, they are preparing a films, Bengal files. If they can prepare the Kashmir files to condemn the Kashmiri people, now they defame the Kerala also.
एक्सपोज करने का काम इस फिल्म के माध्यम से हुआ है, उसको रोकने का काम नहीं कर रहे। क्या कांग्रेस और कम्युनिस्ट जैसे पार्टियां केरल में तो उसको रोक नहीं पाई, अब फिल्म को भी रुकवाने का काम कर रही हैं? क्या ये भारत की मासूम बेटियों के साथ हो रहे अन्याय के साथ कांग्रेस पार्टी खड़ी है कि खिलाफ खड़ी है? चेहरा बेनकाब हो रहा है इन लोगों का जब ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति कर रहे हैं, वोट बैंक की राजनीति के चलते बेटियों को गलत रास्ते पर जाने पर मजबूर कर रहे हैं। और पश्चिम बंगाल जैसा राज्य तो फिल्म को बैन करके एक इतना बड़ा अन्याय कर रहा है।
The filmmakers say that they will take legal recourse. Listen in.
Mamata Banerjee is Chief Secretary of Bengal government to ban Kerala story in Bengal. So there is a possibility that that may happen. How do you react?
Again, if that is what she has done, then we will again take a legal action. Whatever is possible under the provisions of law, we will fight that.
You're watching the News Hour first. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Let's go across to our guest. Joining us live with us is GVL Narasimha Rao, National Spokesperson and MP of the BJP. With us also is Sandeep Senan, who's a film producer. Professor Monojit Mandal is a TMC sympathizer. With us also is Vivek Srivastava, political analyst. Dr. Suman Siravan also joining us on the broadcast at this point. Let me start first and foremost with Vivek Srivastava. Vivek Srivastava, the point is that one may not agree with the content of this film. And I certainly think that the fact that 32,000 had to be, brought down to 3 is a question that the film's producers have had to answer. But I think we have debated that. The question is that while one may not agree with the film, is banning it a solution? Because, till now we had seen how Mr. Shashi Tharoor saying that this is not my reality of Kerala, but I am certainly not going to seek a ban on the film. Now it appears that politics has crept in because clearly you have the West Bengal Chief Minister coming out and making several political statements.
Yes. Now there are two things to it. Number one, it may be a lousy movie, as you said, but then why was the film made? And when the film was made, as you rightly said, 32,000 cases is a huge amount of cases, and nowadays, boiling down to 3 cases or 4 cases, and you are showing it as a standard play card, taking it all over the country, showing a particular religion, a particular community in a bad light. So it's wrong. Now coming to the question of freedom of expression, you see, when we talked of the BBC documentary which showed our Honorable Prime Minister in a bad light, I said yes, freedom of expression should be there and films should be allowed. Allow the film. However, in any particular state, the intelligence reports say that a particular documentary, screening of a film, piece of art or a book can inflame communal rioting or some kind of a law and order problem. It is for the state government to decide. So we have to see both the coins, both the sides of the coin. That is what I mean to say. And yes, I invite Mr. GVL Narasimhan to come. We will both watch the Kerala story together. However, you should also watch the BBC documentary sitting with me. I mean, if the BJP is, the Prime Minister should not have acted as the poster boy of the movie. There was no need to do it. It was a very one-sided way, the way he acted. I have strong reservations about it. He's my Prime Minister also. He's the Prime Minister of the Muslims also. He's the Prime Minister of the minorities.
Are you going to take up Vivek Srivastava's offer for a movie date, sir? A rather unusual movie date. Would you take up that offer from Mr. Vivek Srivastava?
This is the false equivalence. Because if the CPIM, if they want to very openly state that they have no faith in the judiciary in this country, then they can go and support any film which really repudiates what judiciary has found. The BBC film, what he claims is a complete travesty of the truth, because the Supreme Court has said, whereas this case of Kerala story, why does it unnerve them? the producers have stated, okay, they have evidence of 3 women who have actually gone through this entire trauma, who have actually landed up as terrorists in ICs, and they have actually faced victimization. They, what is the problem in seeing that film? Why does Mamata Banerjee see this as a BJP film? We are not in the business of making films.
No, you cannot.
And if we were, we would have made Kerala Maseka of hundreds of our Karyakartas. If we were interested in making films, we would have made films on how Mamata Banerjee's party has massacred hundreds of our cadres in Bengal, and how CPM killed our people in Kannur. Not diverting,
Okay.
I'm saying...
Let's bring in Professor Mandal on that. Professor Mandal.
Filmmaking, otherwise we would have exposed the reality of
One second, gentlemen. Yes, gentlemen, let me just come in here and in fact want to add to the question and put that across to Professor Manojit Mandal. Professor Manojit Mandal, to add to what GVL is saying, and I'm quoting Mamata Banerjee here, she says that BJP is showing Kerala story a distorted story. Few days back, some stars funded by BJP came to Bengal, and with some distorted and concocted story, they are preparing Bengal files. They are defaming Kerala and its people. Every day they defame Bengal. Why is the BJP creating communal problems? This is the duty of a political party who gave them this right. So is that the real fear of Mamata Banerjee? That there may be a documentary or a film or something made as far as the visual medium is concerned that perhaps would bring out something that is uncomfortable for her and her party.
Why did you ban BBC story? I think one of the panelists raised the issue. Why did you ban it? It was a documentary. Apparently it was a documentary. Why did you ban it? And this film is claiming that this is based on facts. And the producers themselves have, I think, digested their lie by, sort of removing that teaser, the 31,997 women. I mean, do they even know the data? The Government of India data says from 2014 to 2018, only 200 Muslims, not just from Kerala, only 200 such young people have joined ISIS, just 200. So why have they got this data from? Where have they got this data from? It's complete figment of imagination on the one side, and still you're claiming that this is some kind of a documentary. Look, there is a distinction between a work of fiction and work based on facts. The BBC is apparently a documentary which you had to ban. Now, this film is based on untruth. You're claiming this is to be a documentary, and you yourself is carteling the teaser. The fact remains that this is a propaganda movie. Everyone can understand. BJP directly might not be in a preparation of this kind of a film, but when they are releasing, or they are allowing the censor board is allowing this kind of movies to screen across the country, it suggests who are sitting in the censor board.
Okay.
And by the same breath, you criticize
Okay.
for a particular
Let me bring in Sandeep
song.
Saran.
In the same breath, no, let me just finish. In the same breath, you criticize Padmavati, and you were vandalizing the theatre movies even before the release of the film, and the film producer had to say this is Padmavat. Though it was a work of fiction.
Okay.
It was a work of art. So you cannot have the same double standard from the same kind of movies.
Sandeep Saran, double standards on part of the ruling party are being alleged here by Professor Manojit Mandal. But the larger question is it a fiction? Is it based on fact? The very fact that facts had to be corrected. But does that take away from the fact that people have been lured by certain terror groups, which are global terror groups such as ISIS?
Actually, this is very much art. Fictionalized art, piece of art. This movie is, and based or inspired by true story, which has happened in Kerala in 2016. This is a very true story, and of course, being a movie, when a maker makes a movie, it has to be cinematic, it has to be fictionalized. So there is what's wrong in it, what's wrong in showing. Maybe a fringe group of people are not interested in bringing this movie out. Otherwise, this is a movie which has to be shown. It has happened in Kerala. So I don't know why people are against this, and especially when it comes to Bengal, I think it is a blatant violation of 19.1A in fact. And I think the freedom of expression has been breached. So when it comes to BBC When it comes to BBC documentary, it is showing the Prime Minister as the villain. But the very Prime Minister is there. They're talking about a man who is ruling the country. So this is a different thing. How can you compare BBC with this?
What about Padmavati? What about
Probably
Yeah,
I can give you an example of a movie which I don't know whether you have watched or not. There is a movie called Garbage which was released in 2018 in Netflix, where a Hindu sannyas.
What about Tandav?
So have you seen that movie?
You're talking about? What about Tandav? Why did you ban Tandav? Which was again.
Let him make his point, sir. One at a time.
See, let me tell you about Garbage.
Professor Mandal, let him make his point.
Have you watched Garbage? So where were all these people who were talking about, who are for a group of people who's against this movie? Where are you people then? What happened then? So this is a movie which is inspired from a very true event. And I would say that every man who has a daughter, who has daughters, every parent who has daughters should watch this movie. I think what is wrong in it? And sir, you were talking about just 200. Is 200 a small number when you're talking if it is two people who has gone from here to IS or from Syria, it is a matter that concerns to the country. It very much concerns the country.
Dr. Sumansi Raman. I want Sumansi Raman to come in. Sumansi Raman, there are some facts on which this movie is based. Yes, Professor Mandal, please. There is Sumansi Raman also on the panel and we have limited time. Professor Sumansi Raman, your response to what Sandeep Senan just said.
Madhav, I have always been that a movie which has been cleared by the censors and has not been stayed by a court should not be banned by a state. That is a stance that I have consistently taken, whether it is Padmavat or whether it is Kerala story or whether it is offending the left or the right or whoever, it doesn't matter. That is the way it should be. Now here, the only issue I have in this particular case is to call it a true story. Now, as long as you're calling it a work of fiction, then nobody questions whether you say 31,997 or whether you say 3,50,000 also. That is your call because you have an artistic license to do that. But when you're making a claim that this is a true story, and I think that this is the fault of the censor board, not so much the filmmakers themselves. Filmmakers themselves may have had propaganda as the basic objective of making this film. That's a different issue. But the censor board should have called them up and hauled them. They should have asked them, where did you get this number from if you are calling it a true story? Or simply say that this is a work of fiction and take away any reference to calling it a true story. I have no problem with it. Mamata Banerjee should not have banned this film.
Right.
I think that this is absolutely incorrect because tomorrow it gives the BJP more chances to sort of do similar things in other states. And then say, look at what you did.
Absolutely.
And this will go on.
You know, one ban.
By the way, in Tamil Nadu,
Completely out of time because we completely out of time on this debate, gentlemen. But the point is that no ban can be justified if we don't follow what the censor board does, unless, of course, there is some kind of urgent legal or law and order requirement. Certainly, this kind of discretion given to state governments can be dangerous, and that's an important point coming from Sumansi Raman. GVL Narasimha Rao, Sandeep Senan, Professor Monojit Bandal, Vivek Srivastava and Sumansi Raman. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening.